My name is Miss Michelle, and I'm going to work with you today on some reading skills that will grow your brain and help you to become a great reader. Now, if you have a paper and a pen or a pencil or a marker or a crayon at your house, go run and grab one right now. And if not, remember, you can always just write in the air with your finger. As always, I want to say a special hello to my Sequoia reading partners. And if you don't know, there's going to be a teacher caravan driving through the neighborhood by our school tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. So I hope I get to see some of you there. I'm so excited to work with you all today. We're going to be practicing reading new words and using our brains to figure out the meanings of those words. So while some of our friends are still collecting their paper and something to write with, we're going to play a game called 3 of a Kind. I'm going to say 3 words, and your job is to think of one other word that we can add to all 3 to make 3 new words. So for example, if I said basket, foot, and base, the word that we can add to all 3 of those is ball. We can make basketball, football, and baseball. Are you ready to try some more? All right, our first one is mail, sand, and shoe. Mail, sand, and shoe. What one word can we add to all 3 of those to make 3 new words? Well, man works with mailman and sandman. I don't think there's such a thing as a shoe man, though. Did you get it? It's box. Mailbox, sandbox, and shoebox. All right, let's try another one. Here's our 3 words. Dragon, butter, and fire. Dragon, butter, fire. What one word can we add to all 3 of those to make 3 new words? Dragons sometimes breathe fire, but what does that have to do with butter? Did you get it? It's fly, dragonfly, butterfly, and firefly. All right, let's do one more. All right, our 3 words are day, glasses, and flower. Day, glasses, flower. What one word can we add to all 3 of those to make 3 new words? This one's a little tricky because we're going to add the new word to the beginning of the root of the word instead of at the end. Did you get it? There's a clue behind me. It's sun, Sunday, sunglasses, and sunflower. Like the sunflower on my hat. I'm wearing it today because we're going to be doing some gardening, growing some words that have roots and prefixes, kind of like plants and trees have roots and leaves. All right, now the words that we just talked about in our game are what we call compound words. That means they're made up of 2 smaller words, like sun and flower. Sun and flower can both stand on their own as separate words. We can also make words out of smaller parts called roots and prefixes. The root is the main part, and it can stand on its own and be a word by itself. But a prefix is a group of letters that we can add to the beginning of the root word to change its meaning in a certain way. But even though it has a meaning, a prefix can never stand alone as a separate word. All right, are you ready to learn some prefixes? Here we go. Our first prefix today is un, un. So when we add the prefix un to the beginning of a word, it gives us a new word that means the opposite of the root word, or not the root word. So if we add un to the word wrap, we get a word that means the opposite of wrap, unwrap, like you unwrap a present. All right, let's learn another one. Our next prefix is re, re. When we add re to the beginning of a word, it gives us a new word that means we do that thing again. So if we add the prefix re to the beginning of a word write, we get a new word, rewrite. That means write again. All right, let's learn another one. All right, our next prefix is M-I-S, miss. When we add miss to the beginning of a word, it gives us a new word that means that thing is wrong or bad. So if we add miss to the word match, we get a new word, mismatch. So if my socks are mismatched, that means I'm wearing one sock that is the wrong match for the other sock. All right, let's learn a couple more. Our next prefix is D-I-S, dis. When we add dis to the beginning of a word, we get a new word that means the opposite of the root word, or not the root word. So now we have two prefixes that change the root word to mean the opposite. Dis and un. They both mean not. All right, so let's add dis to a word like, and it gives us a word, dislike, that means the opposite of like. So maybe you like ice cream, but you dislike broccoli. Or maybe you like ice cream and you like broccoli, but you dislike broccoli ice cream. Ugh. All right, let's learn one more. The last prefix we're going to learn today is P-R-E, pre. When we add pre to the beginning of a word, it gives us a new word that means we did the thing before or ahead of time. So if we add the prefix pre to the word school, we get a new word, preschool, which is where you go when you're too little for regular school. You go to preschool before you go to regular school. All right, we also know another word that starts with pre, prefix. We call these prefixes because they are fixed or attached before the root word. All right, so now let's use what we've learned with our 5 prefixes to grow some word flowers. Are you ready? Remember, flowers and trees have roots just like words do. So I'm going to give you a root word, and we'll practice adding different prefixes to change the meaning. Each prefix is going to be a different petal on our word flower. All right, our first root word is one of my favorite words, read. Read, and here's our prefix petals up here. Looks like we've got 2. So let's go with this one, M-I-S, miss. Do you remember what it means? Miss means wrong. So misread means to read something wrong. You made a mistake while you were reading. And remember, that's okay to make mistakes while we're reading because fixing our mistakes helps our brain grow. So misread is to read something wrong. What about reread? Re means again, so reread means to read again. So if you make a mistake, you can always reread. All right, let's put our first word flower in our word flower garden. Ah, beautiful. All right, here's our next one. Our next root word is made. All right, and we've got 2 prefix petals up here. Let's start up here with un, un. Un means not. So unmade means not made. So if your bed is unmade, that means you didn't make it today. Hopefully not. Let's try the other one, pre. Pre means before. So if something is pre-made, that means you made it before or ahead of time. All right, let's add our second flower to our word garden. Looking beautiful. All right, here's another one. Our next root word is view. View. So to view something means to look at something or to see it. All right, we got 2 prefix petals up here. Let's start here. Re means again. So review means to view or to look at something again. And our other one is pre, and pre means before. So to preview means to look at something or view it before, like a movie preview. All right, let's put it in our word garden. Oh, our word garden is growing so beautifully. All right, let's do a couple more. Our next root word is cut. Ooh, we've got 3 prefix petals on this one. Let's start up here. Un means not. So uncut means not cut. All right, what about this one? Re. Re means again. So recut means to cut something again. All right, and what about pre? Pre means before. So pre-cut is when you cut something before or ahead of time. So maybe your art teacher will pre-cut some paper for you to use during art class. She cuts it ahead of time. All right, looks like we have room for one more word flower in our garden. Let's see what we've got. Count. Our next root word is count. Oh my gosh, this one has 4 prefix petals. Let's get to it. So, miss means wrong. So miscount means to count something wrong. So you counted, but you got the wrong number. And what about re? Re means again. So recount means you're going to count again. All right, what about pre? Pre means before. So pre-count is when you count something before or ahead of time. All right, and our last prefix petal, dis. Dis means not. So discount is when you're not going to count something. You're going to discount it. You're going to not count it. All right, let's add it to our beautiful flower garden. Ah, what a gorgeous word garden that we grew. Awesome. Let's keep growing our brains just like our garden and work on some new words. So, when you're reading and you come to a word that you don't know, one thing you can do right away is to look for a prefix. If you can find the prefix and then sound out the root word, you can make a pretty good guess about what the word means, even if you've never seen it before. All right, so let's try a few. If the word has a prefix, we're going to circle the prefix, just like our petals on our prefix flowers, and then we'll underline the root word. All right, and then once we sound out the root word, we can try to figure out what the word means with the prefix. Ready? All right, here's our first one. I see a prefix, re. Re means again. And so here's our root word, shape, shape. So we have reshape, means to shape again. So if you reshape, that means like if you have some Play-Doh and you shape it into a bowl, maybe you reshape it into a snake. All right, let's try another one. All right, we see a prefix here. I see one. There's our prefix, un. Remember, un means not. And here's our root word. Let's sound it out. Stable. Stable. There's our le, remember from last time. So unstable. Stable means something's not going to fall over easily. So if something is unstable, that means it is going to fall over easily. Like a Jenga tower is unstable. It's not stable. All right, let's do another one. All right, I see a prefix here, dis, dis. Let's circle it. And so here's our root word. So dis means not, and our root word is order. Order. Oh, we got 2 R-controlled vowels in there. Disorder. So order is when everything is put away in its place. And that means disorder is when everything is not put away in its place. Hopefully your room is not in disorder right now. I bet everything's in order. Let's do another one. All right. I see a prefix here, re, re. That means this is our root word. Attach. Attach. Attach means to stick something onto something else. So re means again. Attach means to stick something back on. So if any of our flowers fell off of our word board, I would reattach it. All right, great job, you guys. Let's do a few more. All right. Ooh, we got some longer ones here. Here's our first one. Do we see the prefix? I see it. D-I-S, dis. So that means this is our root word. Respect. Respect. Respect is when you treat somebody the right way. But dis means not. So disrespect means to not treat somebody the right way. All right, let's do another one. All right, ready? Do you see our prefix in there? I see one. M-I-S, miss. Do you remember what miss means? Wrong or bad. All right, and here's our root word. Behave. Behave. Behave is the way that you act. So misbehave is when you act wrong. We got some words on here that we definitely don't want to do, huh? All right, let's do a couple more. All right, do you see our prefix? I see it. UN, un, means not. And here's our root word, a long one, subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe is when you sign up to follow something like a newspaper or a magazine or a YouTube channel. So if you unsubscribe, that means you're going to not subscribe. You're not going to follow anymore. You're not going to get the newspaper or follow the YouTube channel. Unsubscribe. All right, let's do one more. Ready? Here's our last one. You see it? Do you see the prefix? It's P-R-E, pre. All right, so here's our root word. Let's sound it out. Historic. Oop, there's one of our R-controlled vowels. Or historic. Historic is like the word history. And that's everything that has happened since people first learned how to write things down. So prehistoric means before history, before everything that happened before we learned to write. So like when there were cavemen or when there were dinosaurs. Prehistoric. Ooh, these are some great words that we're learning today. All right. Could you feel your brain growing every time we used our prefixes to figure out what a new word meant? All right. Now, we're going to practice reading some sentences that have words with prefixes in them. Are you ready? You're going to need your paper and something to write with, or you can always write with your finger in the air, of course. All right, so I'm going to read you the sentence, and I'll show you the sentence while I read it. And your job is to write down all the words you see that have one of our prefixes in them. Are you ready? Here we go. So, here's our first sentence. You see it? On Friday, my class took a spelling pretest. On Friday, my class took a spelling pretest. See any words in there that have one of our prefixes? I see one. P-R-E, pre, and it means before. So a pre-test is a test you take before you take the real test, like a practice test. All right, good job. Let's do another one. And remember, there could be more than one, so make sure you look at all the words. All right, here's sentence 2. I misspelled 5 words, and I was so unhappy. I misspelled 5 words, and I was so unhappy. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to get something wrong, huh? But that's part of how our brain learns. The important thing is to not give up when you get a word wrong. See any words in there that have our prefixes? I see 2. I see miss, and I see un. Did you get them both? All right, so misspell means to spell something wrong, and unhappy means not happy. Yeah. All right, great work. Let's keep going with our story. Here's our next sentence. We had to work with a partner to review the words we missed. We had to work with a partner to review the words we missed. See any words in there that have our prefixes? We had to work with a partner to review the words we missed. I see one here, R-E, review. That's also in our word garden, huh? To view or to look at again. So to go back and look at something again, review. All right, now, did anybody see MIS here? This is actually not a prefix. It's part of the word miss, which is a word by itself. It was a trap. All right. So sometimes you might think you see a prefix and then you sound out the rest of the word and you're like, oh, wait, no, that's not a prefix. And that's okay. All right, let's do a couple more sentences. Ooh, this is a long one. You ready? I disliked showing my mistakes to my friend at first, but we helped each other. I disliked showing my mistakes to my friend at first, but we helped each other. See any words that have our prefixes? I disliked showing my mistakes to my friend at first, but we helped each other. I see two. I see dis, and I see miss. Ah, that's a real miss prefix there. All right, so dislike means to not like, and a mistake is a wrong take. So you got it wrong. And sometimes you might not want to let others see your mistakes, huh? But we know that mistakes help us learn, so it's really okay to share them with your friends. All right, let's do one more. Let's see how the story ends. Last sentence. The teacher reminded us that asking for help is a great way to grow your brain. The teacher reminded us that asking for help is a great way to grow your brain. See any words in there that have our prefixes? I see one. Re means again, so remind is to put something back in your mind again after you forgot it. Remind. And this teacher knows that when you're stuck, asking a friend for help is one of the best ways to get unstuck, and then you can grow your brains together. All right, I have had so much fun with you today. We played 3 of a kind, and then we learned the meanings of 5 common prefixes, and we grew some beautiful word flowers. And we learned that looking for prefixes and remembering what they mean can help us break up new words and figure out their meanings. All right, we have one more activity to see how great a listener you are. I will tell you the meaning of the prefix, and your job will be to tell me what prefix goes with that meaning. All right, are you ready? Our first one is again. Do you remember which prefix means again? It's R-E, re. Re means again. Good job. All right, what about before? Do you remember which prefix means before? It's pre, like a prefix comes before the root word. All right, what about wrong? Do you remember which prefix means wrong? M-I-S, miss, Miss means wrong. Good job. All right, what about not? Do you remember which prefix means not? There's two, right? Dis means not, but un also means not. They both mean not. Did you remember them both? Great job. All right, well, it's almost time for us to be done for today. I'm so proud of the work you did and of our beautiful word garden that we grew together. And we grew our brains too, huh? Next week, we're going to be learning more about sounds, so come back again and we'll learn how to read even more new words. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.